Good morning. Good Monday morning. We're back again. This is Dr. Emma Fraser Pendleton, and we are looking at time. As I spent some time looking more at time, I said, you know what? This is not a topic that you can easily talk about in one or two settings. And we have a very important time coming up, and it's called a new year, 2018. And usually we start thinking about our New Year's resolution somewhere about the end of December when we've had that last big party. And then we're getting ready for New Year's Eve and we celebrate. And then, it's the 1st of January. It's a new year. You're doing your checkbook and you're still writing 2017 or whatever you're dating. And then you realize, oh my goodness, yesterday was 217, today is 218. So we're going to jumpstart this time. And we're going to get you ready for 2018 with the strategies of eliminating the demons, the devils, and the donuts of time management. So you would say, well, what are the devils? Well, the definition of a devil is an evil spirit that torments you or possesses you and prevents you from operating at your highest level of integrity. It drags you down. So the first thing we have to do is look at what are the demons that keep you from doing what you have to do when it comes to managing your time. Well, the research says that most people waste their time. They're just not being actively productive. They're busy, but they're not productive. They have things to do, but they do other things to avoid the things that they really want to do. Because the things that help you to grow and the things that help you to make it and the things that help you to be successful are difficult. They're the tasks that you don't want to do, the office that you don't want to clean, the book that you cannot finish, the article that's overdue, the social media that you can't seem to get your hand on, the technology that always keeps you weighed down. I know that it is for me with technology. I could write, I can do, but when it comes to technology, oh my goodness, it makes me nuts. It makes me crazy. So the idea is I have to tackle that. I have to be proactive in what I do. I can't let the devil of technology continue to torment me. So what I've been doing is doing it ahead of time instead of waiting when it's due, when it's the due time, to sort of practice before, to have a folder that has all of my information on it. What's a Zoom? What's a BeLive? What's a Uber? So that I'm not caught at the moment of the time that I need to operate these things and I'm not going anywhere. So is that you? I want you to go into the feed and say, that's me. That's me. I wait till it's too late. Wait till it's too late. I want you to go into the feed and hashtag wait too late. Wait too late. So the fact is that all of us, all of our lives are shaped by how we use our time. All of our lives. Doesn't matter who you are subject to the 24/7. What do you want out of it into 18? So we talk about the demons. Those are the things that really hold you back. That's that spirit. I can't do it. I'm just overwhelmed. How do you overcome your overwhelm? You have to be proactive. And then let's talk about the devils. Well, the devils are those many little tasks that you are engaged in that never get done. It's the pile of paper with the things that you meant to file. It's the shopping list that you never seem to get to. It's the closet. It's organizing something and you put it off. Those are the little devils that create a mania in your life. Oh, I meant to do that. I meant to do that. And then you make a to-do list. So how many of you have a to-do list that you had for 2017 and it's not finished? How many of you have that? Put it in the feed. Undone. Undone, unwon. You didn't win the victory over that. You're still going nuts. You still got those devils running around. You got the pile. You got the unfinished. And now it's 12 months later and you're looking at a new year. Start early. I can't take it. I can't take it. Don't accept it anymore because you're creating it. So you say, but Dr. Emma, it's the other people in my life. They don't help me. They promised me that they were going to do this and they didn't show up, and then that backed me up into that. Well, if you have a cadre of people in your life that constantly disappoint you, don't show up, can't help you with to do anything with time. In fact, I used to have a girlfriend, and every place we went, she arrived late. Every place we went, she arrived late. Even if we were going to the theater, when I lived in New York, you know, theater tickets are very expensive. So if we were going to the theater, we'd get there and she wouldn't be there. And so we used to say, let's hook up and take the ride to New York. So then we said, no, my husband and I, we said, no, we're going to take that ride ourselves. We'll meet you at the theater. So then we would stand outside. This is the second attempt to overcome this lateness. We'd still be standing outside. The show would be starting. We could hear the music. So then we said, nope, we'll meet you in the theater. That way we could keep the friendship. But her time zone, how she operated, was entirely different from us. You have people like that in your life? Put it in the feed. In my life, time stealers. I want you to put in time stealers. Do you have any time stealers? Do you know that you can get more money? Hopefully, you're running your business, you got a good job, you can get more money, but you can't ever get more time. Every day, every hour that we are not productive when we are in work mode is an hour you'll never get back. No amount of money, nothing that you have, no amount of cash, no number of friends. When your time is up, folks, it's up. I was in the supermarket the other day, you know, one of those newspapers that report every horrible thing that happens in Hollywood lives. So I never buy it, but I read it when I'm online. I think most of us do that. How many of you, I read it when I'm online. But the cover struck me. It said 62 famous people that we lost in 2017. They're gone. They all had lots of money. But what was so shocking as I picked up the magazine after I got over the cover was they had stories of the last days of some of these people. And it's awful to report that most of the stories were that they died alone. Now, these are famous people. They died poor health, Alzheimer's. It was just unbelievable. And it made me realize that the goodness of the universe to overcome the demons and the devils is that we all have a higher power that governs our life. And we don't have to go down that dark road. In the sense of, have you conquered? Do you realize what your time is? And then, what are the donuts? Because this little live speech is eliminating the demons, the devils, and the donuts. Well, the donuts for me was just an image. Years ago, maybe some of you don't remember, when Dunkin' Donuts first came out, well, everybody loved their donuts. They were reasonably priced. They were baked early in the morning. You know, they had that advertisement that he gets up at 5 o'clock and bakes the donuts, and the place was packed. But Dunkin' Donuts came up with an unbelievable advantage of how to use the hole in the donut. So, you know, they make the donut and then they have the machine that presses the hole, and then that would get what came out the dough, would then they fold it over and make other donuts. But somebody must have said, I bet you we can do something with these holes. So now they began to sell the hole in the donut. So they made use of what before became a long process. Then people started going and buying the hole in the donuts because you could buy them at one flavor, or you could get a bunch of them. What are you doing with the hole in your donut? Where's the gap? What isn't being processed? What are you baking up into another product, into something that is productive but easy to do because it emanated from the previous project? So do you have a book? Do you got a workbook to go with it? Do you do Facebook Live? Do you get on internet radio? Too often we think that we have to have many, as entrepreneurs, we have to have many products. Oh, I got to do this and I got to do this. Perfect the hole in your donut. Take that one great idea and take it from stem to stern. If it started out as an article, could it be a book? Could it be a book? Can that book turn into a workbook? Can that workbook help you to do some Facebook Lives where you are talking about a product that you already have, but now you're using the hole in the donut? Perfect one. And when I say perfect one, I don't mean perfect it and drive yourself crazy. I mean, see how many different venues you can use this product. Because I can tell you as an educator, folks, one of the things we learned when I was a teacher was repeat. Tell the students what you're going to teach them. Teach them, have a medial summary in the middle of the lesson. You say, did you know that? Do you understand that? Give them 3 or 4 demonstrations of the same information, and then give them a final summary and then test it. So what is it? Tell them what you're going to teach. Begin the instruction. Then in the middle of the instruction, you go back and say, does everybody get that? And then you make adjustments, and then you continue, and then you do a final summary. So my question is, what products do you have in your shelf, in your office, that you could have taken and turned it into an absolute franchise for you? That's what Dunkin' Donuts did. Donuts are not new. One of the oldest desserts that we have, the history of the donut. What they did was repackage it. They called their place Dunkin' Donuts, and it was catchy, and they had the logo and they had the marketing. But that hole in the donut, where you went in and asked to buy the hole in the donut, incredible. It was a little less than buying 12 donuts. So that means if you didn't have the $6 or $7, there must be $9 now, to buy the whole donut, you could buy the hole in the donut. What is it that you need that you can market that makes your product accessible to the entire socioeconomic group that you are targeting? So you have a book. So everybody doesn't have the 20 or 25 or 15, whatever the price of your book. How can you get some of that information out to more people at a less price? Did you turn it into an ebook? Did you release it as a series and use it on your Facebook page or your website and say, click in and get the first 10 pages of this dynamic book, How to Use the Hole in Your Donut. Successful marketing. So look at what you have and see what you can do with it. So the hole in the donut. So who else? What other company did that? Well, Kentucky Fried Chicken. They didn't invent chicken, folks. They didn't. But they were one of the first franchises that came out in which they said, you can come in outdoors in 5 minutes, you can have fried chicken. Now, I don't know about you, but I've made fried chicken. It's a McGilla. I love it, but it's a McGilla. You got to heat that oil. You got to have that deep fry. You got to wash the chicken. You got to flour it. You got to put it in this boiling oil. Now, I'm not saying that Kentucky Fried Chicken can compete with your grandma's recipe, but they looked at chicken as a hole in the donut. And they turned what was in everybody's house into a commodity where they could say to the woman, get out of church on Sunday. You don't want to go home and start that fried chicken? Stop by Kentucky Fried Chicken. That's another company that used the hole in their donut. Now, here's another one. You might not think about it because you take it for granted. Do you know when Avis first came out with rent a car? I said to myself, who's going to rent a car? Because people at that time, if you were traveling to California, you could put your car on an Amtrak and they take your car out there. But somebody sat around and said, I don't have to invent the car because Henry Ford did that. But people need a car where they get where they're going. Now you can't even imagine going someplace and not leasing or renting a car. And if you do it in advance, like if you're traveling to the Bahamas or anywhere but New York and the major cities, if you do it in advance, you can rent a car for practically little. So what did Avis do? They took a product that was already out there. They reinvented it. They used the hole in the donut and say, people need a car. I don't have to invent the car, but I'm going to have a leasing program. You're going to be able to rent a car, something that everybody had sitting in front of their house. Amazing. Let me give you another hole in the donut. Uber. A friend of mine called me about 9 months ago. He said, Emma, you travel a lot, so you should get this app called Uber. I said, well, what is Uber? He explained it to me, that you call them from your phone. You put your credit card in. So if you don't even have any money, but you got a credit card, you can ride. So I did it. And I used to have to call a cab, ask a neighbor. I'm in North Carolina. I don't have as many neighbors as I used to have. But all I do is click my phone, press the Uber app. I don't have to talk. I don't have to have any cash on me. In fact, they don't take cash. And the other thing is you can tip if you want, but it's not a requirement. You ride in really nice cars with really nice people. I've met some very interesting Uber drivers because the person that thought about that said there's a hole in this taxi cab donut business. So when I would get at the airport, I'd have to stand in a long line and the cabs would pull up. And then when my turn came, I got a cab. And in New York City, the cab drivers would be really angry, but they had to take the next person in line because I wasn't going to the city. My ride was only a $15 ride. They didn't want to be in that line waiting and then have a $15 ride when they could get a $40 ride to New York. But Uber changed that. No discrimination. I could be going around the corner. They found a way to put the hole in the donut, how to use it. They have changed the industry. Nobody's standing on a corner if they can help it, trying to hail a cab. You just click the button and you're treated fabulous, riding in great big vans and cars. So Uber was another one. So can you think of somebody, can you tell me an industry where somebody filled the hole, used the hole in the donut, reinvented what was already there? Anybody have any information out there? So what we were talking about prior to me giving you some ideas about what companies did, well, if you're watching me on Facebook Live, this didn't exist 25 years ago. There was no Zoom, Boom, Be Alive, Connect, Facebook Live. Somebody said, whoa, we're going to give the average person who has a computer, who has a cell phone, who has an iPad, we're going to turn them into movie producers. And you're going to be able to go out to the wide world universe of social media right from your phone or your desktop or your laptop or your tablet or your iPad. Can you imagine? This used to take, when they were recording in my church, when they first started going on TV, the camera was as big as the church. These guys had to load these things around. Now all of us can be seen by many of us. Somebody figured out how to use the hole in the donut. You can't even imagine. And they call this a phone, folks. This is not a phone. This is a computer. You can shop with it. You can have apps. You can play games. You can take pictures. You can text to your 10,000 friends. The hole in the donut. What used to be a huge instrument is now right at your disposal. Click and it's done. So, how are you going to use the hole in your donut for the coming 218? So I've got a quick tip for you. This is what I want you to do. There's a new way. Now, how many of you say to-do list? Put a to-do list. I'd have a to-do list, Emma. Well, I want to give you a new way to do a to-do list because I'm a queen of the to-do list. I'm a queen of it. I have to-do lists all over. I have cards that I write it on. But there was an odd thing about the to-do list. I'd have to come home. I'd have to check it off. But now I found a new way to do a to-do list. You divide your paper into 3 parts. One is to do, one is will do, and the other is done. See if what you said you would do, you actually did it, and then you can click off it's done. It's a way of rewiring the brain because we are so used to the term to do that even when we have a to-do list, we don't do. So now we have to find a way to fill the hole in the donut of the to-do list. Recapture your time. The only way to change a habit is to replace it with a new process. So you make these to-do lists, but they never get done. Then you have a pile of to-do. So try this new quick tip. You write in one column to do, right next to it will do, and then at the end, the last column is done. So in between to do and will do are what are the steps you need to do in order to will do it. Because there's a process. And then you divide your to-do list into calls I have to make, projects I have to complete, people I have to connect with differently from just the call. It requires other additional information, my house insurance, whatever, and get all of those things ready and connect them to your to-do list so that you will have a will do and a done. So we're talking about demons, devils, and donuts, eliminating those things that affect how you use your time. So what was the devil? The demon, whatever torments you and holds you back. What the devil? The many little things in your life that if you would do them, you would save yourself so much. And so I got to do this. 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 Just do it. Now, I'm not saying I don't have that problem. The reason I'm talking to you about it is because I do have that problem. Most people in their life, their passion may be wrapped around whatever perplexes them. If a mother and a father certainly has realized that their child has MS, then suddenly they're very interested in MS. They'll join organizations, they'll connect with other parents and children that have, they'll find out. So I'm fascinated by time because it's what I struggle with. I'm better, but I'm still struggling with it. So, what are you going to do to eliminate the devils, the demons, and fill and use the hole in your donut? How are you going to manage your time? Begin thinking about 2018 so you can rock it out ahead of time. So I want you to connect with me. Text challenge 2. Text the word challenge, CHALLENE, to 718-305-1426, 718-305-1426, and share this information. Share it out there in the Facebook world with your friends. They will thank you. And remember, the most important thing about how to utilize your time is, what are you doing with the hole in your donut? This is Dr. Emma Fraser Pendleton signing out. Get ahead of the curve. Use your time. Bye, folks.